Hi, my name is Olivia Wilkins, and this presentation will be about my rhetorical analysis essay. So, this essay is about the article "The Drinking Age Should Be Lowered Fast" by Jeffrey Tucker. So, in this article, Tucker begins it with commentary on the American college experience, recognizing that it is a time of newfound freedom for those attending, which, according to him, leads to destructive behavior. He argues that because most college attendees are underage when they discover this freedom, it creates an alluring, secretive, and romanticized view of consuming alcohol. Tucker connects the current image surrounding alcohol with that of the prohibition. When alcohol is denied, people go to extreme and even dangerous lengths to get their hands on it. He also compares America's drinking age to other countries and expresses his displeasure with American teenagers becoming adults at 18, yet they cannot drink until 21. He provides an organized outline of his thoughts, concluding that the ultimate solution is to allow teenagers more liberty. So while Tucker does make a lot of good points in his article, it ultimately falls short of being effective because he allows pathos to overtake both ethos and logos, and he just uses a few too many logical fallacies. So even though he does make a strong, emotionally charged argument, it just can't be considered academically effective because he lacks objective evidence and logical reasoning. So he makes numerous claims throughout his article, but instead of using evidence to support them, he chooses to use passion and drama to enhance them. For example, quote, "The notion that this law is accomplishing anything to actually stop or even curb teen drinking is preposterous." So here, Tucker is referencing America's legal drinking age, saying that it's silly to think it prevents underage drinking. The problem with this is that he does not provide evidence to support this claim, and instead he uses words such as notion and preposterous, which are emotionally charged, attempting to convince his readers by appealing to their feelings. This is one of many similar claims he makes in this same format, choosing to appeal to pathos versus using logos or ethos. So then on top of that, he uses a lot of logical fallacies. One of them is the slippery slope fallacy, which, quote, we have created a dangerous underground culture of secretive, abusive drinking," end quote. So the statement assumes that because the drinking age is high, it will inevitably lead to dangerous drinking behavior, even though that assumption does not actually apply to every situation, thus making it a slippery slope. So another example is, quote, "If 18-year-olds can vote, marry, and die in war, why can't they drink?" End quote. So this would be the appeal to hypocrisy fallacy, because Tucker leans into a perceived hypocrisy, but it does not actually support his argument that the drinking age should be lowered. There's no logical evidence provided that just because 18-year-olds can do other adult things that they should be able to drink, which is what makes it a logical fallacy. And my last example is a hasty generalization. Quote, "Every night in America, on college campuses, students gather in unregulated, unsupervised settings and drink themselves into dangerous stupors," end quote. So while this may be true for some students, it's certainly not true for all. And Tucker, whether purposefully or not, just exaggerates reality and creates an overgeneralization, which thus making it a logical fallacy. So knowing that, we also can't completely discredit his argument because he does have some ethos thrown in there. For example, quote, "Currently 135 colleges have signed support for a lower drinking age," end quote. So here Tucker is talking about the Amethyst Initiative, which is an organization of college administrators. This is a strong use of ethos as it is very credible and relevant to his argument. The problem is that is his only use of ethos. And we know that a strong academic argument requires objective evidence, straightforward reasoning, and credible sources. So that would mean if Tucker's argument is to be considered effective, he would have needed more than one use of ethos, and he would have needed some logos thrown in there as well. So despite the potential accuracy of Tucker's article and his claim, his argument cannot be seriously considered. It just does not have the characteristics necessary to make it effective, and he uses little to no ethos and logos, too many logical fallacies, and bases the majority of his argument on emotion. So Jeffrey Tucker's article is just a great example of how no matter how passionate an author may be, they must still be diligent in using proper rhetoric to make a persuasive argument. That is the end of my summary. Thanks.